Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Love Storyteller Tarot. My name is Jeanette and this is going to be your full moon love spiritual reading for the 13th of October 2019 in the archetype of Aries. Welcome new subscribers, and thank you for your comments and shares and likes. I really do appreciate it. Oh my goodness, I don't know where I am. I really don't know where I am. I'm just going through so much change and really deep stuff. It feels like a scorpion energy. And I have just found out that I am a Scorpio rising now. So don't know, don't know if that's just psychological and then it's playing on my mind. But anyway, but yeah, to do with my book and the deadlines and trying to work in with before Mercury goes retrograde, which it does. I think around it will involve this reading, so it'll be around I don't know, maybe the shadow phase is something like the 10th, 11th, 12th or 13th, something like that. It starts to go shadow phase, and then it goes, I think, into retrograde on the 31st of August, no, 31st of October, and then it goes on, I think, right up until November 20th, which would be the last couple of weeks of the integration phase. So yes, it's been coming. I don't know if you're feeling it too, but because we've got Saturn and Jupiter and everything, and now they're moving forward and all of that. But anyway, we're just going to concentrate on this full moon, and Mercury retrograde will come into play because it does involve this reading. But yeah, so I've just been like going to do my book, and then no, I'm not doing it, and then going to do my book, and then no, I'm not doing it. So each stage I do it, I get the work done, and then I pull back, and it's too scary, it's too frightening. Because mine is a biography, so I'm literally sharing, I am going into that deep scorpion energy, which this card represents. And it does feel like a death that I'm going through, it really does. Um, yeah, so I'm going into that deep scorpion energy in my book, you see. So I'm revealing everything and about myself. So I'm left feeling vulnerable and open to, I suppose criticism. Critique is fine, but criticism and attack in some shape or form, well, you do, you put yourself out there, then it can happen. I had that when I first came on here. I had loads of it, but you just work through it, and you don't bite to it. But yeah, so I'm very fearful in that sense, that I know that it'll bring about change for me. So that's where this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is going to be affecting us around this, that shadow phase around the 13th of October, which involves this full moon. So there is going to be things that you're going to have to be letting go of, and that is, patterns of behaviour, letting go of fear. It doesn't have to always be a person, but usually fear comes in with that, and it's about letting go of I don't know what we perceive the future to be, because fear is basically your thinking that your future is going to be your past, and that's definitely what blocks me. But like, as you can see in this card, the sun is rising, there is hope there. There's a fresh start there, there's joy trying to come up and what's the word? Come up and not overshadow. Come up and not take over. That's not the right word. Oh, come on, help me out here, guides. What are you trying to get me to say? Anyway, it's about the sun coming up and, you know, making the sun shine on your affairs and your life and that sort of thing. So, and we know intuitively that a change, my stomach's just churning and churning. It's just full of anxiety. I need to let that go. So this can be about, you know, a full moon is about letting go. It's about letting go of all the fears and the fears of what you think may happen. So I'm getting the impression, Spirit saying, what if? It's that saying, what if? But what if? What if? What if? What if? Because that's what we're doing. We're saying, but what if I do that and then this happens? But what if I do that and then that happens? And, you know, you can't live your life like that, to do with your relationships, to do with your life. You know, we are here to experience, and, you know, a lot of people have been, oh, and there's two magpies just literally walking past my window, bless them, I salute you. And the magpies, especially two, is about joy, and I was literally talking about the sun card, because the sun card is also about joy, and it's the hummingbird, represents the hummingbird. So yeah, so, and it's two, there was two, and that's good when there's two, it means, you know, partnership, etc. So yeah, that's to do with the Mercury retrograde and having to let go of something. And, you know, you'll be thinking about revisiting, re-looking, rewriting. So I'm sure around this time, like I say, and I've got to get this book. I've signed the agreement, which took me a month and a half nearly to do. I had to work through all my fears to even sign that. So, but yeah, so, you know, you sign the agreement, but what you're doing symbolically is I'm agreeing to what I agreed to do on my soul contract before I came here. So that's what I was doing. And the ego part of me is, no, I just want a simple life, and I don't want to be seen, and you know, that sort of feeling. I just want to do what I want to do. But then there's, you know, the higher self, and it's like, well, yes, we got to do it. We've got to do it, because the Emperor's here. The Emperor's all about vision. So the full moon's in Aries, and Aries comes under the Emperor, and the Emperor is a visionary, and hence he's very connected to the King of Wands. I see them very similar. Just this, the Emperor's higher than the King's, so has more power. He's all about power and authority. And he does come under the father figure. So I also feel Saturn sometimes around this, because it's like when you have a vision, you have to get down to it, and you have discipline. You have to have discipline, and because it represents authority. So Saturn represents authority, and also organisation. You know, like, you've got to be organised and follow the rule book. So, you know, the Hierophant is more to do with tradition and education and knowledge in that, but this can have a similar feel. But it's whether in your relationship this is a dominant person, a dominant partner. It can be about, you know, this can show up when you decide to be ambitious, and you want to take charge of your life. And you know, so it could be you, and then your partner, if you have one, could be against that vision, because then that's going to bring about the change. That Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, water sign again, they've all been in water, but this is about going deep, you know, and then that would make them have to look at themselves and do some shadow work and go deep. as to why wouldn't they want to, because there's a lot of codependent relationships going on that needs to be ended, or the pattern needs to change, not necessarily the relationship, but definitely the pattern needs to change. And that's not just in romantic relationships, that can be in all types of relationships, because this comes under the father, so it can be the father figure. And if that's been overpowering you, even if they've passed, but there was just such a strong character in your life, and then that can hold you back, because this can be is looking at, is there anyone holding you back? Or you've got to be honest with yourself, because we have to look at our own energy, we fear for, and we're trying to hold somebody else back through our fears, because we know if they move forward and blossom and grow, then that's going to change things for us. But we come from fear and think it's a negative thing, because we come from control, because we think we can control things. We want to control things to make ourselves feel safe. And when you go into the unknown, and you do something different that you've not done before, then whether that's a different type of relationship, or whether your career or whatever, it's like, oh my God, I'm just not used to this, and you want to go back to the comfy pair of slippers that you're used to. Symbolically, that person is the comfy pair of slippers, because it's just so scary. You're being given the opportunity, whether this person is literally in your life, or whether they're in the atmosphere of your life, waiting or ready to come in. They are either waiting for you to be ready, or you're ready and you're waiting for them to be ready, hence why they haven't come in yet if you're single. But yeah, why is someone holding you back? Or why are you holding yourself back? Why aren't you stepping into your own power? Because it's very much about power and authority. Why are you not asserting your will for yourself, or for your family, or for a relationship, whatever it is? Because this is the energy of him. So it'll be either way. Either you need to step into that power, you need to step into being the leader. He's very much the leader, and I think a lot of us have been asked to step into our leadership roles. Now, we don't know what that leadership role is. When we look too far into the future and we think, oh my God, I just couldn't cope with that if it became too big, then we actually procrastinate, and fear freezes us, and we're unable to, move forward. That's the thing about having a vision. You can have the vision, and then you leave that vision where it is. You then have to come back and be practical, and this can come under anything like, you've had a vision that, well, this relationship's not working for me. I need to now take my power back and become the leader of my life, and I need to work out an exit plan, and then you work towards that until you feel safe and secure, especially if you've got children, to be able to move into your new life. But Saturn is asking, saying you've got to sort things out, and you've got to be practical and down to earth. But this is a very strong character, a very strong person. So if this is you, because they don't consider other people's feelings. So again, the King of Swords comes into this, because he's more about business. So is this person, but they don't consider other people's feelings. They step on other people's toes symbolically, because they're just not wired that way. They're not wired that way to think, oh, how would that affect somebody if I said that? They're not wired that way, And that's where you get your codependency, is when you're too focused on the other person and thinking, well, how would they manage without me? I mean, you know, people don't think they're narcissistic, but just a statement like that and thinking, well, you know, how could they live without me? How will they survive? You know, because there's been enabling, there's been codependency. Um, and then it's like, but it's more that you're scared, because they might blossom, they might grow like a butterfly, and then they might morph in and then grow. So it's, again, it comes down to fear. It's the fear that's playing out underneath this. So, but yeah, you know, and definitely a strong character, a strong partner, you know, and they're great. To organize things, whether it's business or in a relationship, but you know, they're not going to be there for you emotionally. They can be very detached in that way. You know, Aries is fire, is a fire sign, but it's a go-getter, hence why, you know, it can be lighting your fire to be ambitious and to make a move. And because there's all like the old marriage model, or you know, long-term relationships or committed relationships, they're changing and they need to change. You know, but way back got together because of survival. That's why people married. You know, it was, well, I need a mother for my children, or you know, it was whatever it was, or she needed a husband because I don't know, she didn't have money or whatever, because that was the programming, you know, about that. And now it's all about independence, finding your own way, following your own vision. And so if there's any, you know, husbands or partners, or well, the masculine energy, whether same-sex couples or not, it's the masculine energy of the couple, of the partnership. You know, are they being overbearing? Are they preventing you from blossoming and growing? And that would then need to be looked at. And maybe this full moon would be the time to do that, because we do have, you know, reflective stage of Mercury coming into the shadow phase. It's called the shadow phase for a reason. It means we're going into the shadow of the cycle. Everything's a cycle, so we're going into the shadow of it. And so this one will be affecting me because I got the Scorpio rising. So, and there's going to be deaths, you know, that you're going to feel like you're dying on some shape or form, but you know that the sun's going to rise and you're going to be going into a better life, but you're judging your situation to do with the past, and is fearful of, well, you know, what if that's going to be repeated? And you know, it is a scary place, but you just have to go down, like I've been doing. You've got to go down to Hecate's, and you've got to feel those feelings. You've got to feel them. Well, they're not feelings to me, they're emotions. They're emotions, and that it's movement, and it has to be transformed into feelings. Feelings are good things. You feel good, you know. Emotions are the deep, dark, shadowy stuff, and the feelings are, you know, oh God, I feel uplifted, I feel good about myself, I feel good about the relationship, I feel good about my life. So, and it comes under the eagle, actually, for this one. It's the eagle. Don't know what it is for that one. I didn't check. Oh, I think it's a snake for that one, actually, but I'm not too sure. But the eagle, and the eagle is all about a vision, you know, and like I said, power and authority. But you have to have the eagle's bird's eye view, because it can see like up to 10 times or whatever, better than what we can. It sees its prey before it, you know, decides to go down and get it. But it never comes down just to kill something. It only comes down for a reason. So, and I wrote an article. I think my sister's just taking it off, because I'm going to be using that in part of my second book. But yeah, I'll go into what that means. It's about getting back to the heart, and how to, I think it was the film Silver Lining, and with Bradley Cooper, and then I go into the psychology of the Scorpio and use that as a thingy to get to the heart of the matter. But yeah, so this is the energy that we're dealing with around this full moon, and we are going to need to reflect on what we need to let go of. And but like I said, that is a very strong partner, father figure, and Saturn is known as the father figure. It just feels like Saturn's in there somewhere because of about structure and organisation and that sort of thing. And maybe you need to ask, where are you controlling, if you're in control of a situation or your life or not, and or your partner if you're in one. But yeah, because obviously we're heading into 2020, and I know with this one, the shadow side is like stubbornness, and like being forceful, and I don't know, wanting things your own way, that sort of thing. So let's have a look, see what the tarot cards want, whether it's you or your partner, and sometimes you have to be that way. I remember when I left my marriage, and I won't say who, but a certain person said, "Oh, you're a right bitch." Well, actually, I needed to be to do what I needed to do. So I don't know if we cut that or not. There's a lot of reverse cards. I think I did cut it, and now I've cut it again, so never mind, we've done it now. But yeah, there's a lot of reverse cards in this deck today. So when I was shuffling and preparing, the first card out is the Ace of Swords. So like I was saying, it just feels like we're scared of that new beginning, or having that new concept, because it's in reverse, of what that might look like, because the unknown is the unknown. It's hidden for a reason, and I think it's all about trusting. I think that Jupiter energies, you have to have faith, you have to trust. So I think this is building the trust muscle within yourself, or within a relationship, or a situation. But this is all about, we're a bit scared of that, because we've got the eagle show up here, and I was just talking about that with the Aries. It does, in the animal tarot, govern the eagle. So like I said, if you can, because we've got to turn this back that way, and because it's the sword of truth. So there might be something you're not telling yourself, or somebody else might not be telling you. They might be telling you what you want to hear. It could be that there's a vision in collision, and your vision and their vision, which I refer to many times in my readings, about both being on the same page, and people do grow, and people are growing very, very quickly, and that can cause separation and finalization in divorce, that sort of thing. But yeah, this is all about not wanting to see the truth, being scared of the truth, speaking your truth, because it's about communication. It is in reverse, and we will be having that Mercury retrograde starting, so there could be delays around that time. But I suppose it's about retreating and thinking about, because it's thoughts. Mercury governs thoughts. It's the communicator. So maybe you need to be thinking about it. If you're too harsh with your words, maybe, and you can kill a relationship off just like that. It depends where your energy is at. You'll know. You know yourself, who you are, and then then that causes a problem in the relationship. But this is like an end of a chapter. So come November 20th, something would have left your life, either a behavior of somebody else, like the patterns of something that's gone on and on and on, passed down from generation to generation, or it could be a person. But this is a death of your own choosing. It's not the Tower card. This is like take charge. Don't wait to disaster has struck, or chaos is struck. You take charge. You do it of your own free will, and you know, it's a very favourable time at the moment with the planets. So therefore, until December, I think. So therefore, you know, we should be supported in our decisions. But this is about a new concept. So it's in reverse. So you've got to come up with a new concept. You've got to come up with a new way of looking at your life or your relationship. You've got to have that bird's eye view. You've got to be the ego. You don't need to come from the ego and come down to attack people. You know, you stay up there and see the vision. And I think that article would help. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But anyway, yeah. So this is all about needing to have a new concept, a new way of looking at something, and it's to do with your emotions, because it's the Queen of Cups and she's in reverse. And in reverse, you know, we're not thinking emotionally correctly, as in, you know, our behavior, because your thoughts will show that. So your thoughts are negative, and then creates a negative emotion, and then you act out, or the other person does, or definitely somebody that's important in your life. And this is somebody who's not mature in reverse. You know, they're not centered in their feelings. They can be emotionally manipulative, whether male or female. And we need to get this new concept so that we can turn her up where she needs to be and where she belongs. And she belongs near the water with nature. And so this is definitely the Scorpio energy, isn't it? Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But yeah, we're talking about the Scorpio, the retrograde, and these are reversed, so that would suggest something's reversed, and that this is what needs to be worked on, because all three are in reverse. So and we're talking about the feminine here, I think, because we've got the Page of Pentacles, which is something practical and shows up, you know. So that can be like a message, a text message, a phone call, because it's something concrete. Because she's known as the student. You know, this card can show up when someone's going to school, because it's on a practical level, or going back to school, because you're at the beginning. You know, she has one coin here. She's not the king, the queen, and she's there's not the 10 of coins there. So it's an idea, some sort of idea on a practical level, that would help you emotionally to turn things around, because that's the feel it is. And yes, these can represent children, but pages are usually messengers, and it can be out of the mouths of babes, out of the mouths of children, you know. So you hear something. I know my niece certainly used to say things that used to surprise me, but I knew it was spirit talking through her to me. So but those are all reversed, and that's about a message, because pages are messages. So you've got to look at a new way, and get a new way of dealing with your emotions, so that you can communicate differently. And that maybe is a child for some people, but like I said, because it's all about balance. The Temperance card is about balance, and it looks as though she's balancing, you know, her one foot in the water, one foot on the ground, and because it's about creating a win-win situation. And so it is a shift in perspective, so that would do that. We need to turn them up the other way. So a shift in perspective, will help you to do that, to create this win-win situation. And this is Sagittarius, so it's all about truth, and you've got the sword of truth, so you know you've got to do that blending. And this is a very spiritual card. It's like turning your lead into gold. It's literally like that, turning your shadow stuff into your soul, and move from your head into your heart. You have to blend these elements, and you know, then you get your rainbow. Your rainbow is your promise, a bit like the sun coming up here. That's your promise. It's going to be okay, but a lot of people are fearful, but it feels as though it's getting intense, you know. Scorpio is, I mean, it's affecting me to do with my book, which is to do with relationships, which is that Libra energy. So either way, if you're not in a relationship, you know, the universe will get you in some shape or form, to get you on your knees and to change this way of thinking. So, you know, the truth of the universe, not the truth of the man-made world. So yeah, to create this balance, you see, this is like an alchemical process. It's literally changing, you know, the thought of changing lead to gold is just like a miracle. It's amazing. But yeah, it's about being diplomatic, because this person's definitely not diplomatic. It's my way or the highway, and they say what they want to say, and they don't consider other people's feelings. So whether you've been brought up with somebody like that, and then no matter what your partner says, you're very sensitive, and it triggers the father wounds, the emotional wounds of maybe what's happened, or maybe the negative side of the masculine, whoever that is. But so November, then you're going into Sagittarius at the end of November. So maybe by then, you going through this full moon to the next full moon, and this Mercury retrograde, and that going through. Maybe there's some deep, intense stuff to go through. We're going to be going through our personal life, and maybe our business, well, definitely our business life as well. I think the two go together. You know, it's about relationship. It's relationship with these things. Oh my goodness, but the heart of the matter is the Six of Wands. What a lovely card. We're going to do it. You're going to do it. We're going to do it. You know, those people that are willing to look at themselves. I think this is Pluto, isn't it? Yeah, Pluto. You know, Venus has been hidden. It's been has it been a night star, and now it's going to be a day, no, I think it was a day star, and now it's going to be a night star. But I did see Venus in Italy when I went on holiday. It was so bright. So maybe it's different in different parts of the world. But yeah, so what was I saying about that? I said maybe, yeah, some really deep stuff. But you're going to do it. You're going to create that balance. You're going to turn your lead into gold. You are going to, you know, you're going to have victory. You're going to succeed. And because the Six of Wands is, you're going to get your gifts. You're going to get your rewards, let's say. You know, for those, that's what I was going to say, for those that are going to be brave and take control of their lives, use this energy. It's quite a scary energy to use, but it's about authority. I just did about a situation on the phone about something that's just happened to me now, and I thought, I got my Mars in my 9th house, and thought, do you know what, my opinion does count, and I'm going to say what I need to say. And so I just did. So that would be that, you know, that would be that energy, that fire energy. But for those of you that are going to be brave enough to do this around this full moon, and to let go, there are going to be accolades, there are going to be rewards, there are going to be gifts. And with the two magpies there, definitely. So, you know, you can do it. You're going to do it, because this is what's at the heart of the matter, and it's success. And And being a leader doesn't have to be, you know, like a world leader, like a prime minister or whatever, a queen or whatever. It, you know, it can be, don't scare yourself, it can be a leader, because you've got to be fulfilled. I think the universe is asking, you've got to be fulfilled, because if you're not fulfilled and you're looking to somebody else to fulfill you, it's not going to work. Or if your partner's not fulfilled and they're looking to you to fulfill them, it's not going to work. Okay, that's where we need the independence, and we need the interdependence, and this old marriage long-term relationship model needs to die, because it's not about that anymore. So you know, you've got to step into your own authority, and you're going to succeed. And then these can be turned up the other way. Yeah, you're going to succeed over karma, because this is the karma card, this is the judgment card. So this is the final test. A lot of karmic energy, because some of it to do with the south node and the north node or something. I'm studying astrology, I'm not an astrologer. Probably won't even be this lifetime, it's too fast and too big. But I think what I do serves me in what I do here and in my life, and that's all that matters. So, but yeah, this is about a rebirth, you see, and that's what the eagle does. The eagle, towards the end, it starts to lose its sight, so it flies up to the sun, and it goes too close to the sun and it scorches itself, and then it comes back down again. But it's like the phoenix rising, isn't it? It comes back down again, and it's reborn, it's rebirth. And I think that the reprogramming of our minds from the past to that's what we've been doing, and letting go of those old programs, so that we can move into the future and not be manipulated by other people out there, as in, you know, the big wide world, where there's shit going on out there that people need to wake up to, things that are hidden behind the scene, or not so hidden, because there's a few brave people out there that are in their Aries energy, they are in their Emperor energy, and they're brave enough at all costs to put their opinions out there, and I take my hat off to them. You know, but you know, so anyway, so there is this karmic energy, judgment, you know, the final judgment, or to the rebirth, and this is the eclipse, and we will be heading into that eclipse season again, I do believe, but don't quote me on it. Is it going to be, yeah, I think it will be January, or is it December? I can't remember, but yeah, I think it will be January, I'm not too sure, but we're going into 2020, and you know, the eagle does literally have 2020 vision. It is so sharp and so clear with its vision, but that in reverse is not, the idea is not right. You've got to get the idea right, get the right concept, but you're allowing your emotions to cloud that and to see clearly, and if it affects children, then that's right. I need to hurry up, because I wanted to change the cards now. But yeah, there's some sort of last test, but you're going to succeed. You're going to succeed, because those two are major arcanas. You're going to succeed. And this is about rewards. You see, the Seven of Pentacles is all about rewards, and that's like waiting on the rewards. So it's like it's been delayed, or it will be delayed for some, because I'm reading for so many people, or it will be delayed. But the heart of the matter is the Six of Wands. It's success. The gifts are coming, but that could be the past. It could be, you could be reading that as the past, or the energy coming in, but that could be because your thoughts weren't on track, and you've had to learn to balance them. And you're like, you know, oh, when the hell is it going to happen? You know, I do all this hard work, and when is it going to happen? But the three that are lit up here, is the Three of Coins, and it's to do with collaboration, and he stood on his own there. So maybe that person needs to collaborate with people. You can't do things on your own all the time to get your life changing. And we've got the Star. This is like false hope, or somebody's lost hope. They're both in reverse, to do with work. So this could be somebody feeling depressed about something, somebody been made redundant, missed opportunities, that sort of feel. So whether that's you or your partner, someone you know, it can even come down to a father figure, and it's affecting your life in some shape or form. But this is about false hope, and like I said, it's like the past, but all maybe around this time, because it's the stars astrologically, there might be a delay there for this fresh beginning, this fresh start. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because we've got the Six of Wands there. It's going to happen. You just have to have faith. You've got to build that faith muscle. You've got to believe in the miracles. And this is like defending the position that you're already in, that you've already, because it's the 7, so the 7 comes after the 6, but this is more powerful because it's at the heart of the matter. But yeah, the 7 comes after the 6, so it's like defending what you've gained, or what you'll gain. And let's have a look, see what's underneath. See, and the sun comes up. So there we go. We've got the sun. This is like the unconscious, or the collective, or whatever you want to call it, however you want to see it, really. But it's very much linked to the Six of Wands. So this is about seeing things differently, like I said, changing your perspective and not going into the oh poor me. Saturn requires hard work, depending where it is in your house. And it will happen. It will happen. Your new life will happen. It will happen for you at some stage, because this is all about joy. This is all happening to get you to a place where you feel fulfilled and happy and free. This is the healed inner child. And they don't need a saddle. They don't need to control this horse. They're free, and they experience freedom, and bareback, and they're trusting. So let's quickly go through these cards. I need to give myself a bit of time to do the other cards at the end. Yeah, so we do have the Coffin for the first card pulled out. And that can be stagnation. That can be your thoughts, like in murky waters, and stagnant, and refusing to see something different, or your partner is, or this other person that's meant to be coming in, that they could be going through that, and unfortunately you won't know that unless you do know the person, if the universe has introduced you to them. But I'm getting the feel that all the other relationships have been karmic, and I don't think anyone's met the person that they might have had a vision about them, but I don't know if they've actually met that person. So there seems to be some sort of delay, or that delayed things, this not having the change of thinking and a different concept. But you are going to, if some of you may already, but definitely heart of the matter. Definitely there's movement. The stork is about movement and nesting, like going somewhere, making a home, going somewhere and making a home. But so when things are stagnant, it's great to see the stork there, because the stork moves things on. It will make things happen. But again, it is around that Mercury retrograde, so delays do happen. We know that now. And it's always to do with communication, and that because that is in reverse, and those three are and those two are too. But I suppose it's about not getting locked down into negative thoughts, negative thinking. But yeah, the mouse is on her. This can be a Cancerian, Pisces, Scorpio person. They can be the one that might be interfering, because this is somebody that's nibbling away. Like, it's a bit dark, this card. It needs like negotiations. So this could be a person, or that energy, if that's you or the other person. That's the energy of that person, and it's doing you no favours. Or the other person, it's not doing them any favours either. So we've got the dog, which is all about friendship, companion, but there's no news coming from this person, or this new friendship isn't coming in yet. Maybe because of this meeting, because there might be delays, or maybe because of this person, because that's in the present situation. But there is going to be success there. You are gonna deal with it and work with it. Yeah, because that's the card of like fear, anxiety, and worries, and you've got to look to see what's real and what isn't, to create your balance. And maybe that's part of the pattern that's going to die. The death card, like I said earlier, I was just confirming it. That's part of the pattern that's going to be going. Like, if you worry excessively, because that can be like be codependent and everything, and maybe that's part of it, that's you're going to do that because it's right next to the Six of Wands. Yeah, and there's that tree, the tree of abundance, something growing into a wonderful, wonderful thing, which I was saying earlier. And we got the Sun card here. And it's something to do with this friendship. So somebody, a companion of some sort. Yeah, this is all to do with the past and the past energy, and deeds that have to be, things that have to be severed, and things that haven't worked, got to be let go of. That sort of energy, really. But there is good luck there. There is good luck there, and it's more about fate. Fate is guiding you in the right direction. So I think there's a lot of fear, which this is, about this alchemical process, about this deep, deep change that I think we're all going through on a personally and on a collective level. But yeah, this road, there's a new road, there's a new pathway opening up, and that's where this deep friendship is. It's down this new path, and that's definitely a lucky path, a good path to follow, this new path, and fate is guiding you. So if something's not been working, whether in your personal life or your work life, then you've got to be looking at why. Yeah, I just feel like that energy's going to go. I think the sun's going to be more powerful than this sort of energy now. But the fox is all about shape shifting. So you're shape shifting into the person that you need to be, really. Let's get a few cards out on the heart of the matter, and then we're going to the oracle cards. Even these are in, so that can be a delay. That can even be down to a delayed flight, delayed messages, because that card's about a message to do with a friendship, to do with someone, a companion of some kind. So that can be delays, a delayed flight, definitely around this Mercury retrograde. So check before, flying and everything. I mean, my daughter and I were very lucky. Regarding Thomas Cook, we had our holiday in Italy and everything was fine, even though that was it was the shadow phase of the Mercury retrograde, but we had booked it well in advance. But you know, now the company has just collapsed, and all those people have lost their 9,000 jobs in the UK, and oh my God, it's awful. And the government, surprise, surprise, didn't want to step in. So the Page of Swords is about somebody on defence and speaking they're expecting the worst. That's what I'm sort of like I'm saying. Careful of your thoughts and allowing your past to influence you, because this is somebody like expecting trouble, the Page, because they're young. So and that can be somebody who's old, but in their head they're not mentally mature. And there you go. So that there are going to be delays. Expect delays, because there is a lot of reversed cards, because we've got the Four of Swords here, which is about reflecting. To get success, that's what you've got to do, okay? To build a new nest, to get a new nest, and you've got to be resting, you've got to take some time out, and you've got to be focusing, you've got to be turning that up the right way. And he's even led on the sword there, because it's to do with this heartbreak from the past and not allowing that. You don't want to be taking that into your next relationship. You really don't. Let's see what the romance angels want to be saying. What is the most important message, please, regarding this full moon in Aries, 13th of October 2019. Oh, that one just wanted to jump out. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So it's, you know, suggesting whatever you're going through, maybe friends, it can be family as well, you know, but because some of your family can be your best friends, and I know my sisters are. So, you know, so they're saying you've got to reach out and ask for some support, especially if, you know, you're thinking of coming up with a way to exit the partnership, whatever that partnership is for you. And it looks like there's that friend there in the future. But yeah, you need to be reaching out to others. Let your friends help you in this situation around this time. Because what's going on underneath, it could be that there's a reconciliation, and we do have, oh, where have we got it here? We do have the Karma card there, and so for some of you that might happen. Someone from your past is returning to your life, but that can also be family. It doesn't have to be a relationship, and maybe sometimes there's a relationship, could be to do with your father, or you know, the parent or the caregiver who acted in the male role. I didn't have my father, but I had my mother, who was very masculine, had to be to survive. So, you know, that could be that it could be a friendship that's coming back, or a friendship that needs to be dealt with. But there's could be some unfinished business there, and you need to be reaching out. Let's have a look, see what the wisdom of the oracle want to say. The fates. There we go. So I was saying about this card here, whatever's happened there, I think it needed to happen. It was part of your fate side of your contract, your plan, because it's saying now, look, number 17 is very much you're being guided, and everything that's happened, don't judge it. Don't judge it, because it's part of your growth in this really solid foundation that you're. So yeah, fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. And this is where you say the Serenity Prayer. The Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over, and it's what we were talking about at the beginning, about control. So go back to the beginning and listen to what was being said then. The conditions brought on by evolution of the collective, by nature and by your past experiences may be fated, which it is because we've got the fate card there. So just confirming what I was saying really. Preordained by spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occurred, but you can accept the mystery and work with what those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. So I think that's very apt for what we were talking about. And it's just read the relationship when other people are who they are, you can't change them. So again, it's about acceptance. The challenge is to accept them as they are and not try to make them otherwise to suit you. This is it's definitely the Emperor if you're with somebody like that. The challenge is to accept them. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mould people to fit your view of how they should be, so you can remain in the relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are and whatever is happening between you and them in this situation is perfect from the perspective of spirit? Now is the time to accept what you cannot change, even if it means that you honour yourself, spirit and the other person by moving on. Love unconditionally for each of us is on our own journey, and we cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relationship is indeed fated, and you are meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. And I think that's very apt for the reading that we've just done. So let's just see what the Akashic records want to say. Whoop, on a collective level. I think that wanted to come out really, but never mind. It will come out where it's meant to come out. Will, wisdom and mind. I'm not too sure, so we'll read it and see how it fits in. This card brings with it a time of enormous power, balance and expression. The first three rays, or the energies of the divine, move within you equally. Power and will, love and wisdom, and an intellect or mind. You are working intimately, even if you're not conscious of it, with the Ascender Masters who are linked to these energies. With the participation of the Masters, you can raise your focus to higher power and purpose. You can combine the fire of creativity, the Emperor, with the water of receptivity in order to make your contribution to the world. This is what we're being asked of. With the gold, and me, oh my God, okay, with the gold crown raised high, you're likely to find yourself in a significant position of authority. Told you, that's what that is. An influence at this time. It is likely to be a phase of great activity, but you can handle it. With these powers in play, you're able to discipline yourself to bring together the meditation, creativity, rest. Where's that? Creativity, rest, and action required. Take advantage of this time and use these powers well. They are nothing less than the divine forces moving through you, so you can manifest their power in the world. So, wow, what strong messages. And let's see, what whisper of love would you like to give us? Let's have something a little bit gentler. This has felt quite intense, not surprised with the Scorpio and the Emperor. Do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. So that's what they're saying, is that maybe take your focus off yourself, because sometimes it can be very intense, can't it? And especially with what's going on in the world, etc. And maybe tune in to what somebody else might need. I think it will make, you know, you feel better in that sense. And how does the universe have our back? Oh, I was going to use the other cards, but never mind. Can't do it all. Oh, because this card was in reverse down here, and yet it's got the Clover card on there. So I think you've got to change your thinking, because it's hope is the conduit for miracles. And I do have believe in miracles, my stone here today, because I feel we need it. So this is how the universe has your back through this full moon and the start of this Mercury retrograde cycle. If I have time, I may do the Mercury retrograde cycle, depending on what I get done, because I've got a deadline to get that finished. But yeah, hope is the conduit for miracles. So you've got to have hope, you've got to turn this, and don't get in your own way. There we go. I do hope those messages help. Please like, share and subscribe. It's your gift back to me. And I'll see you back here for the new moon. And if you need support, I am doing readings Monday to Friday. And 24-48 hours turnaround. It's not instant for me, I'm afraid. And I apologise about that. What was I going to say? The link for my website's below. Okay, have a good couple of weeks until I speak with you again. Lots of love. Namaste.